They have been sold dreams by the agents. If you are earning 20,000 rupees as a driver, if you go there, you can earn 1 lakh. So you are earning 5 times more. This is the way the agents and are motivated. The family also thinks if you go for 2 years to Kuwait or 2 years to Saudi Arabia, any country in the Gulf, probably you can make a money, put your children in good schools or buy a house. I think this is it is like some type of aspirational migrants who want to use migration to move socially in the society. This is a labor mafia exploiting the poor, unskilled workers, giving them dream of building home back in Kerala, in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan. Finally, I think they are not building back home. We are building their graves in Kerala.
We are talking about the killing of 40 Indians amongst those 49 killed in the Kuwait building ablaze. And we are joined on this discussion by our correspondent from Kerala, Shaju Philip, and the founder chair of International Institute of Migration and Development, Irudaya Rajan.
We have to go beyond Kuwait. I think the Gulf countries are accommodating close to 10 million Indians right now. Not such a it's a very big number. Yeah. Out of 20 millions now working anywhere in the world, 10 millions are in the 6 countries in the Gulf. So, and among them, of course, the number wise highest was UAE and Saudi Arabia, and Kuwait comes as number 3 with close to 1 million as per the Indian Embassy and other data. And probably 15 to 20% of the Indians there probably Keralites. And I would put probably 20,000, because 1 million we are talking about 20,000 Keralites. Of course, now that Gulf countries, there are other state people are coming up. I was surprised. That's why when we said 50 plus people have died, we have only found 10 plus Malayalis. Normally we should expect 20, 30 Malayalis. That indicate that other state people are getting in the Gulf because of the lucrative, which you said rightly. Because what is that lucrative? Lucrative is very, very simple. They are earning more than what they can earn in India. That's it. They are earning more than what they can earn in India, at least in the official terms. They have been sold dreams by the agents. If you are earning 20,000 rupees as a driver, if you go there, you can earn 1 lakh. So you are earning 5 times more. This is the way the agents and are motivated. The family also thinks if you go for 2 years to Kuwait or 2 years to Saudi Arabia, any country in the Gulf, probably you can make a money, put your children in good schools or buy a house. I think this is it is like some type of aspirational migrants who want to use migration to move socially in the society. And Kerala being, on this for last almost, I will say almost 70 to 80 years in this business. Migration is a business. It's like employment outside the country. You are working in India, they are working outside, but they are working employment. So the major reason for Malayalis also going, it is very close. They can come home, they can have a breakfast in Kuwait and come for lunch here. So it's also very close connections. But then I think the important, the incidents, what's happening now, I think what we know only little, but there are so many things might be happening in the Gulf countries, especially on the living conditions of labor camps. We have to look at it very, very carefully. It is not like what we are doing right now is firefighting. When there's a fire, we are fighting. After the fire is over, we never talk about them. I think there is a continuous monitoring of the migrants there, because as everybody knows how many Indians are there in Kuwait, we may not know. We have some number like 1 million. So what we require is something, I call them migration statistics are missing. Migration statistics are missing in any debate today in the country on migration. The statistics are missing. The statistics are missing in the countries of origin. We don't know how many Indians have gone to Kuwait. How do you expect the Kuwait treat those Indians? I think that requires a very good understanding of Indian workers in the Gulf countries. Their living condition, I know that because recently we did a study on returned migrants. Many of them were not paid salaries, for example. So this is I'm hearing for last 20 years. So what are we doing for that? I think both the state and central government have played a larger role to play a larger role in protecting the Indian migrants. Protecting. Of course, they are going without telling the government anyway. But then I think we require a lot of attention on to study living conditions. Like for example, overcrowding. This overcrowding is happening not just in Kuwait. It's happening everywhere in the world right now.
Absolutely.
Including in Kerala. I have seen camps by the Kerala people from other states. You see the same thing. We are overcrowded camps even in Trivandrum, other places we are bringing interstate migrants. So this overcrowding, that means there is no labor inspector is really active. Labor inspector. Right. Labor, I think the labor should be given a high profile. Labor. I think that they are not given enough importance. I think we talk about remittances in this country, but we don't talk about people behind the remittances.
Families in Kerala are really in shock, utter shock, because many of them have been working in Kuwait for the last 5 to 10 years. Since this is the admission time in Kerala, especially in the colleges and schools, some of the breadwinners were planning to come back this month to ensure better education for their children. And we see this victims from across the state, not from any one district or two districts. There are victims from Kollam in southern Kerala to Kasaragod in northern Kerala. And they belong to an age group of 30 to 50 years. Many of them have been working there for last 10 years with this particular company. And this is an engineering and construction firm, the NBTC. So they have recruited people from Kerala to various categories, from drivers, electricians, accountants, engineers, site supervisors, etc. They are all married persons. They have left their wives, children, and parents back in Kerala, and all of them they were living in Kuwait alone. Maybe the accommodation, we don't have any families perished in the fire. Okay, most of them are breadwinners.
How is the Kerala government looking at this? Because the Chief Minister wrote yesterday to the External Affairs Ministry, right?
Yes. The state government is in touch with the External Affairs Ministry and the embassy in Kuwait. Apart from there is a special cabinet meeting this morning to speed up the relief steps, as well as to bring back the bodies at the earliest. But we learned that since they will release the bodies only after conducting the DNA test, it may take a few days. So the government is trying to speed up these procedures.
Can you tell us about the families and the victims that you have covered? Can you tell us about 2 or 3 of them?
Most of the victims, they belong to the ordinary families. And they were not regularly flying back to Kerala to meet their families. That shows that they are not well settled. They may be coming to Kerala from Kuwait once in 2 years or 3 years.
No, I think, based on the Kerala migration survey we were doing for tracking the migrants for close to 25 years, from 1998 to 2023, we just released the latest report, supposed to be released today by the government, but it is supposed to be tomorrow due to this Kuwait issue. I think the Kerala migrants in the Gulf is now, right now it is close to 80%. It used to be 90%. That means 9 out of 10 migrants in Kerala are in the Gulf. Very huge number. Very huge number.
Very huge number.
Right now, very huge number. Right now, it has come down to 8 out of 10. Just 1% has returned because Kerala is sending a lot of student migrants. They don't go to Gulf. They go to UK, Australia, Canada, which is the trend of last 5 to 6 years, especially after COVID. So I think same thing happened during COVID. Many people died, migrants died there. The families were suffering. I think if you look at it as Narca is at least what we call them very active with migration. Kerala is the only state having at least maintaining a reasonably good database for 25 years. Many states have no data. Many states.
Yeah.
So that way Kerala is at least active. It is right or left. They are active because, as all the chief ministers always says in Kerala, migrants are the lifeline of the Kerala economy. Lifeline.
Right.
Their lifeline, I think anything happens in the Gulf, it will have implications for Kerala. Anything happens in the Gulf. If somebody is sneezing there, you will get cold here.
Yeah.
You don't need to, it's like something, any tremors in the Gulf. And similarly, anything happens in Kerala, there is an impact. Like Kerala had floods. These diaspora in the Gulf are helping the Kerala. Am I right? It's like a both-way side. Kerala, anything happens, it has implications in the Gulf, and anything happens in the Gulf, any country, not just Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Oman, any country you talk about, there will be a repercussions, effects on Kerala economy, society, families, and individuals. Because right now we have close to 2 million Keralites are in the Gulf. 2 million Keralites. I think I would put probably 30% of them are really in good jobs. Even with they live with their wives and children, Indian school studying. I will put close to 30%. Other 70% of them, what we call them, low skilled, semi-skilled, not really unskilled from Kerala. So the KMS 2003 clearly indicates that Kerala has close to 2 million migrants in all the 6 countries in the Gulf.
Yeah.
Of course, the Gulf migration is coming down in Kerala because now the student migration is picking up in a larger way. But then we were talking about the case in Kuwait and other countries, any issues. We have 1 million married women in Kerala whose husbands are away. That means you can imagine that many of the people who are living in the Gulf are leaving their wives and children back home, are the parents, wife, children, parents. My estimate is that Kerala has 1 million women whose husbands are away, married women. 2 million children are living without their father or mother in Kerala. They are living with only single parent. They are growing up with the mother. Sometimes they are growing with father because the mother is a nurse. Sometimes they are growing up with only grandparents. Both of them went to make some money to buy a house in Kerala. So you see the implication in the Kerala society, not the economy, not the money we are talking about. We are talking about emotions of migrations. 1 million women, 2 million children, and 4 million elderly are today left behind in the context of Kerala migration. So that, like you hear now, somebody want to put their children back, somebody family is coming, most of them who died most of them probably married, working not a big companies, maybe they are making not a very big money, little money, and the whole family in Kerala maybe depend on this one man's income, one man. So that means they lost everything. They lost everything. This is what happened during COVID-19. Somebody told me when I was talking to one woman, she said, no, 1 week, he was not well, he was in the hospital, ventilator, died, buried. So 1 week we lost everything. Now this is 1 day they lost everything. Fire completely gone. Within 2 hours you saw person is perished. So I think so it will have a long-lasting implication on the families in Kerala, especially who are affected, not just the fire, even the other cases of accidents in Kerala, small accidents in the Gulf. Small accidents happen. 1 people die, 2 people die. It's a big incident. That's why we are talking about that. Somebody dies in the road, 1 man dies in Kerala, in Kuwait or Dubai, we don't bother about that. Just will come in the newspaper. Now it's a major fire. That's why we are talking about. It's a small fire. 3 people died. We don't talk much. Am I right?
Right.
So I think we should think seriously. I think media should play a major role to expose those type of living conditions in the Gulf countries, so that our people who are going there have a safe and orderly migration. This is a safe migration. Question of safe migration. That means the building was not in the correct position, or they might be even prepping the person to see that they get a certificate to people to put there.
Right.
So that might be, we should look at it very carefully. I think we require a lot of attention, on both the Indian government and state government to see that these type of things are not replicated in the future in any Gulf countries. We should discuss during this period also the migration infrastructure is inefficient in India. Migration infrastructure. We have airports. People can't come. The airfare is heavy. So heavy the poor migrants cannot come home. I think this is a denial of basic rights. You want to come home, 50,000, because they went to make money. That's why they are leaving. Because I talked to some of the migrants in the Gulf earlier when I used to go to Gulf. They said, sir, if I take my wife and children, I cannot save money. I came here to save money to build my family back home. And then they want to come home. They are not able to come home. The airfare is very high. Some people are staying for 2 to 3 years there, not want to come. Because 50,000 rupees, they can send it back to Kerala. Why should they come? I think they are, that's why I said the emotions, and I think the migration infrastructure to be really discussed. Like Shaju rightly said, somebody want to come, the ticket is very high. So he's just sitting there without work because
5 weeks on leave when he could have just come home.
Very sad, very sad. That's why I said the migration infrastructure. We have airports being developed, but still the airfares to go to countries is very, very costly. I think we should discuss that the case where Shaju was talking about. Somebody want to come home, he could not get the tickets. The price, maybe he's not able to afford the price. Ticket might be available, but affording, because they are earning, hand to mouth existence. They are saving everything, because I did a study earlier sometime back. Many people say, we don't eat well, sir. We don't eat well. I remember my mother. I remember my family. I am saving to send money back home to children go to good English medium school. They go to good colleges. I think they are sacrificing their food even to send money back home. And I think it's a very, very, that's why I said it is a emotional for the family left behind, especially the wives, children, and the parents. In the parents, it's like they are expecting somebody will come next week and that their dead body is coming. You can imagine the drama of the family.
Like you rightly mentioned, it's the emotion behind migration. Absolutely.
It happened.
So in these cases, Rajan, you said there is a lack of infrastructure, definitely. But how does a country, especially Kuwait in question, react to these cases? Because then, there's a lot of external affairs relations between Kuwait and India being impacted by this. So how does Kuwait look at these accidents?
No, I think we should not identify only Kuwait alone, because I always tell, even when Qatar, football going on, many people told me, but I wrote myself in Indian Express saying that you don't need to blame one country. It can happen in any country in the Gulf. If you go to any country in the Gulf, with this overcrowding in the labor camps, it's like everyday story.
But are they doing anything to mitigate this?
No, I think they are doing, but maybe that is too slow, because this is where they make money. It's like a win-win situation. The laborers, by staying in one room, 10 people, they are paying less. And the employer putting them in one place, it's like saving money in the name of labor. Saving money in the name of labor. I think this is what I call them, the labor mafia. We talk about land mafia. We never talk about labor mafia. This is a labor mafia exploiting the poor, unskilled workers, giving them dream of building home back in Kerala, in Uttar Pradesh, in Rajasthan. Finally, I think they are not building back home. We are building their graves in Kerala.